Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 14th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. I want to also note that if you have a request for one of these in a future video, just leave that down in the comment section. So a couple other quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right here will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, LGVN, did this one in yesterday's top 10 and wow, got a huge surge upwards. So definitely a lot of people are going to be watching this one moving forward. Although I will say last 30 minutes as I speak, pretty big red candle, and this thing is pushing down towards those lows, but overarching chart still perfectly fine. So from a resistance standpoint, initial level that I think a lot of people will be watching because, you know, that trend line, let's face it, nothing too complicated there. And I like those trend lines. We're very basic because the more basic, the more eyeballs watching it. And the more eyeballs watching it, the more of a potential self-fulfilling prophecy you could get, where no guarantees, but completely valid to think that if the price were to come up to that level and break through it, that break in of itself right there could create additional buying pressure just because people are buying because, hey, it's a, you know, breaking a trend line and I'm a breakout player, I'm supposed to buy. And then in terms of areas of support, if you like to play more so pullbacks, interesting support area down there right around $2.50. So keep an eye on that. And then just very quickly and crudely draw in a technical pattern for those of you that like patterns. So we have our resistance, our support, big move up for you golfers out there, golf hole down here. We have a nice bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down below $5, definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one here, ZAPP. Going to go through this one very quickly because I literally just talked about the pattern and we have ourselves, yes, another bull pennant pattern. So there is our resistance. There is our support. Change that to green. And then just because I can't help myself, let's keep it one color. So we have resistance, support, big surge right here, golf hole down here, and you can see right there, another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you definitely got a few different choices here headed into Friday. Next one, NVDA, and talked about this bull pennant in yesterday's video. You can see right here. So got the bull pennant. Today got the break up through there. And once again, not the exact same. Let me just get those lines out of there as I've served their purpose, but have another, what I'd call, you know, a self-fulfilling prophecy point right up here at 129.80. You can see right there, price got rejected. Right there, price got rejected. So that doesn't mean that if the price breaks there, it'll for sure gain another round of momentum, but it's completely a valid thought process to have because, yes, it's a very popular stock. I can't think of a single person that's never heard of Nvidia at this point. So very popular stock. And again, goes back to that whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. When a lot of people are watching the same levels, wondering the same thing, it can indeed create self-fulfilling prophecies. And I think you have that potential at the 129.80 mark. In terms of levels of support, nothing fancy here other than just the basic rule and technical analysis, which states when levels of resistance, and you can see right there, that was a level of resistance, are broken and closed above. You want to see them act as support, and that's essentially what happened right there. It didn't hit it exactly, but got very, very close. So if there are any sort of pullbacks, and right there around the 127 mark would be the key area of support. Next one, AMC, and overall it's hanging in there. Yes, you still have this 547 red line up here as a key area of resistance, but now that we have more data, I'm going to go ahead and add another level because I think maybe even more so than that level. Got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line. In fact, let me just make it so it's a little bit easier to see. There we go. And I mean, you can see right here, just beautiful trend line. So you use that point. That point did a fantastic job of forecasting that area of resistance. So yes, no doubt about it, 547 is still indeed a key level of resistance. But my core point here right now is before I really put any emphasis on that, definitely keep an eye on the trend line. And also with that being said, if the price can get a good high volume break, that's the key. High volume break of that trend line right there, then I could see that very the price realistically going up to 547 and pushing up through there. In terms of areas of support, continue to watch up pink line down there, 200 period moving average. You can see earlier today got somewhat close to it, never, you know, bounced off it directly, but got within the general vicinity. So as long as the price stays above that pink line, that's definitely a good sign from the bullish side of things. But in my opinion, at least the most interesting dynamic here headed into Friday, all about this downtrending resistance trend line and whether or not the price can get a good high volume break of it. Next one, ticker symbol GME, and good solid movement today in a couple different ways. First way, fantastic job. So I just talked about that pink line, 200 period moving average being an important level. Did a fantastic job of honoring that as support. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So fantastic to see that hold as support. And then second, the price has actually gotten through this nasty downtrend line right there. And now it wasn't like it broke and then went straight up. It did take a little bit of consolidation, but now you're seeing the benefits of that break. So got the trend line break also, get rid of that level, and now map out the next key battleground to keep an eye on headed into Friday, which sits right there at 29.75. And just in case this thing really breaks out after 29.75, next key level up there around 32.25. And then again, as far as supports are concerned, definitely want to see it continue to hold above that pink line. But the must hold level, which isn't really relevant right now, but if the price were to have a bigger pullback, then 22.80 becomes a very, very important level of support. But all things considered, good solid day today. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here later on in the day. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use. Like I said, it will be later today. So in the event, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one, BRTX, and I like this setup quite a bit because these are always interesting when you have a very strong start, a price running all the way up there, and then things get nasty and it drops and drops and drops, and around here it becomes very valid to say, uh-oh, is this one of these pump and dumps? Is this thing, some gap and trap? And we got our answer. No, it wasn't. Not only did it level out, it started to head back up here. So now we have a nice little formation where you got the move upwards, and now it's just a question of, can this curling get some more curling and then potentially revisit those highs with the next key level of resistance right there at $1.97. As I've said a dozen times, and we'll probably say a dozen more times. Am I saying that for sure guaranteed it'll happen? No, but I think it's very valid that if the price can come up here, get a break up through $1.97, especially a high volume break, then I could very well see the price potentially giving another round, another attempt up at those highs right there. In terms of areas of support, nothing fancy here. Just a question of, well, where did the pullback finally stop today? And that was right down there at the $1.62 mark, so keep a close eye on that. But definitely an interesting situation. So if you like this price range, you like these sorts where you get the surge, and then you get a pullback, and it starts to curl back upwards, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and very, very nice move for today. Granted, it has pulled back, but this is where the first update comes into play, and this is just based on a foundational rule in charting, stating when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And it's looking like this is indeed going to get tested, because as I speak right now, last 30 minutes, this thing is pulling back, and it's getting very, very close to the 180.60 mark. So that'll be the first big question mark, at least in my mind. Can the price hold above that level? Now, if it doesn't, not the end of the world, but I would definitely say a much more important level would be down here at these moving averages, currently valued at 176.75. So 180.60, the preferable level to see hold. But if that level doesn't hold, then a much more important level would be at the 176.75. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground here, basically the top part of the sideways channel here that formed throughout the course of pretty much the entire day until the breakdown occurred this afternoon. But that sits right there at 185.25. But yes, the pullback is occurring. Can it stay above 180.60? Let's see what Friday has to offer. Next one, BITF, and overall, good solid move. Let me actually offer up a little bit more context here. You can see that overall, the trend is very strong, and even zooming in here, the past few days have been very, very strong. So yes, right now, as I speak, the price is pulling back here a little bit with that red candle, but by no means is the entire chart destroyed because of this little candle here. So as far as pullback areas are concerned, initial key level going to be right down there around the 264 mark. And then in terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here, just going to get a bit of a trend line in right there. Keep an eye on that. Now, what's interesting about that trend line is theoretically the price could never, ever break above it. But the price could still remain in an uptrend because that line does have an upward slope to it. So keep that in mind, that it's not like the price ever has to actually break through that level in order to make progress, because via its nature, it would still be making progress any way you look at it. But as right now, I'm thinking this thing probably needs to pull back a little bit more. So I'm curious, how deep is the pullback? And if it does pull back to 264, is it going to be able to hold or not? But all things considered, like I said, when I zoom back out, you can see very, very strong movement the past few days. Next one, FFIE. Been a while since I've done this one, and you can see that this thing is basically flirting with the lows where it was. Now I am going to make an adjustment and adjust this area of support down to that level right there at 48 cents, which I would definitely consider very, very important, because if 48 cents cannot hold, let me bring this over, there we go, then at that point you are at risk of potentially going down to these lows right here from June 5th. And then if you were to break down below those ones, I mean, that's putting the chart at lows that has not been seen for a very, very long time. And not to insult your intelligence, but assuming you're bullish, you don't want to see the price putting in completely new lows. So 48 cents, very, very important level. And then in terms of areas of resistance, just going to get rid of that level. Actually, I was going to draw a trend line, but I think that's unnecessary right now, because we can just use that purple line right there, the 50 period, as our trend line. And that's an area where the quote-unquote trend line is going to draw itself for you. So as time goes by, that line is going to continue to slope downwards and look something very similar to that. So it's really just a question of, can the price push above there, because you can see that it's already been a very, very big annoyance ever since the price fell below it. Right there, you can see went into acting as resistance, resistance, resistance a couple times there. That's not to say that the purple line can never be broken. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is struggling, and that the price is really going to need to bring it to A game if it is going to be able to push up through that level. But yeah, all things considered, things are looking pretty shaky. Next one, TQQQ, and another very nice day on this one. And what I'm curious about, again, you could just use use that purple line there if you wanted to, but I want to actually throw in a trend line, because it just seems like one of those levels where I could see the price really respecting that as time goes by. So going to throw in that trend line right there, and that would be the preferable area. I mean, if you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest? And that would be if the price can stay above that line right there. With that being said, if the price falls below it, does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that, because from the overarching standpoint, still have that purple line there. And as I just demonstrated, it's a moving average, so as time goes by, and as that level moves itself higher and higher, then overall, as long as the price stays above it, then by definition, the price is in an uptrend, because again, it's in an it's staying above an uptrending trend line. In terms of levels of resistance, nothing fancy here. Literally just a question of, okay, well, where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at $73.90. So keep an eye on that. But this thing continues to just grind higher and higher, and that's the name of the game. You want those higher highs and higher lows, and that's exactly what it's been doing. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, again, go get signed up for that free class. It'll be later this evening, Thursday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you can't make it live, go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com. Like I said, it is genuinely live, so bring your questions, because there will be a question and answer session, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. We are now looking at the 4-hour time frame, not the 30-minute. So each one of these now represents 4 hours. And I like to do that just because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and that'll help keep this video relevant for as long as possible from the Bitcoin analysis. But yes, as I speak right now, grab your popcorn, because the price is knocking on the door of this lower part of the channel down here at 66,100. And that'll be the first question that you need to ask yourself. So let's just assume you're watching this video 15 hours after I upload it. Question number one, where is the price at relative to 66,100? If you are answering the question that the price is down below here, then you would have a pattern breakdown, and that would be a very bearish environment. Now, how bearish of an environment? Well, how far down below 66,100 is it? Don't overthink it. The further down below 66,100, the more bearish the environment has become. But also, to be fair, that breakdown has not happened, because on the flip side, maybe you get another bounce. So if you're saying, well, Clay, no, actually the price is still above 66,100, fantastic. How far above it is it? If somehow you're answering the question that the price is up above this pink line right here at 67,750, that would tell you that not only has it consolidated, not only has it gotten a little bit of a bounce, it's actually gotten a very respectable bounce to be able to push back up above that level. So that's another way. Now, if you're answering the question that the price is, up here at 70,200, that would just be telling you that an absolutely monster bounce has happened. But like I said, it's all revolving around that 66,100 level, and where is the price at relative to that? And like I said, as I speak right now, it's knocking on the door. But if you're watching this 10, 15, 20 hours from now, you're going to have a much better idea of what actually happened here. But as of now, it's looking like there's a very real threat that it could break to the downside, but we'll see how time plays out over the next several hours. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader. Go get signed up for this free class. It'll be this evening, Thursday, June 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, because what you learn about can and definitely should be used within your crypto and Bitcoin trading. But if you can't make it live, then again, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com. claytrader.com. And like I said, there will be that question and answer session, so I'd be happy to answer any questions that you bring. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, tell me what you traded today, tell me your watch list for tomorrow, or like I said earlier, if you have requests, then also leave that down in the comment section. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free class. I'll see you there hopefully in just a few hours.